So in late 2020 to mid 2021, I was pretty into Boom Languages, this project that I had going for a language learning app, one-stop language immersion, as you can see. And I was very excited about the idea, and I spent a lot of time developing it. I think I was also into logging the time. It added up to a couple hundred hours, maybe 300, maybe more, I don't know. But I guess that's really not that much in the grand scheme of things. And it was interesting because I designed it from scratch. I had just taken this software engineering class that taught me how to, break things down and plan out a big software project. So I planned it like it was a large software project with lots of people involved, even though it was just me. And at first it was a quiz thing, and I kind of figured out that quizzes are a lot of content and they're pretty hard to maintain, and there's a ton of work involved in creating the content, not just programming it. So then I kind of moved on to words and articles, just tools to help people as they learn languages. So the articles thing, it does work. It's kind of useful, I guess. And the words thing, not very useful, but I mean, it does function as well. But the whole thing became very clunky and hard to maintain. And that's probably, at least in large part, my fault for how I programmed it. But also, I think part of it was, I don't know, I can't really blame Flutter, but for me, the way that I was using it, it became clunky and hard to maintain, and the code debt became mountainous. And as this happened, I tried to keep up with this project, but I really just lost interest. It became not fun at all, and it wasn't yielding any results either. It was just kind of a clunky app, and it was taking more and more effort to maintain it. So I just kind of fell off with it, even though I was so excited about it at the beginning. Made me a little sad, but that's okay. Recently, I discovered React, regular React, and also React Native. And React Native is similar to Flutter in that you can write one code base and deploy it to iOS, Android, and web, which is awesome. I thought Flutter was I think I knew about React Native, but I didn't like it, or I couldn't figure it out. But now that I have a little React experience, I think this is pretty cool. So I'm kind of taking another stab at it. And I don't have much here, but I'd like to distill what people need when they're learning a language down to one essential thing. Like, what's the one feature? Because if you look at the old Boom, there's all kinds of stuff going on here, and it's very undecided, right? I started out with the quizzes, and then I changed directions to the articles and the words and all that stuff. And of course, we had to have user profiles and things like that, and streaks, not to mention streaks. Oh God, I spent a lot of time on that. And selecting languages. You can choose your language. So many things going on here, and so little of it's actually useful. So I learned a ton doing this, but it wasn't a success, so that's okay. With this one, I want to have one thing that I start with, one feature that works well before I move on to other random things added to this. So I'm thinking even no server side until I get the client side working properly. So my idea is, what if there was a way to track your language learning in a way that makes it fun, and that you kind of have a little portfolio of your language learning as you go. So the MVP of that is logging your activities that you do related to language learning. Just logging. That's it. Keeping track. So reading, listening, these different screens, none of them do anything except for the speaking screen currently. And it has a date time field and some notes, and you can type I did stuff, and you hit log speaking, and actually there's a bug, but if you reload, it's so you get a little log here. It's all client side using that async storage stuff I made a video about previous to this. And I was also thinking that I could add a little graph similar to GitHub and GitLab where they track code contributions. You could also do that perhaps for your language learning, and it would be cool. You get a quick visual of what you've been doing and feel some sense of progress, because it can be easy to get lost in something as large as learning a language, much as it is in something large like implementing an app. So once again, an ambitious goal, but trying to chunk it into a smaller piece with this, and that's about it. So we'll see how far I get this time around. And yeah, I'd really just like to get something that I personally use every day. And then, the one thing, the one feature has to work, and then I can move on to something else. So with that in mind, with some lessons learned from the last one, maybe it's not all lost. But even if it is, I'm learning some React Native, which is a ton of fun. And, got to keep going. So we'll see what happens with this. And I think that's it for this little Boom devlog once again. Yep, thanks for watching.